Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Rambeard, and there have been plenty of comical duos in the history of WoW, like Ezreal and Jadar, and Legion has brought us a fine addition to them: Marius Felbane and Tehd Shoemaker. The Legion expansion has brought us tons upon tons of demons, and Tehd Shoemaker is looking for any and all opportunities to enslave the strongest of demons. Of course, such daring attempts require a more rational counterpart to ensure all goes well. We find such a counterpart in Marius Felbane, the Demon Hunter. The two state that they're working together, and I suppose they are helping out, but that does by no means mean that they like each other though, as they continuously say their cooperation is a necessary evil. Now, let's go over all the occasions where we encounter them. If you yourself will go and help them out in all the zones I'll mention, you'll be rewarded with the achievement Tehd and Marius' Excellent Adventure. We get a first impression when braving the cliffs of Stormheim. In a cave far to the south, we find a trail of Legion eyes, and at the back of the cave an actual jailer. Tehd and Marius have been captured and are busy accusing each other. We quickly free them and they go on their merry way. Then in Val'sharah, Tehd has been tracking a satyr, and while Marius is cautious towards confronting it, Tehd would be damned if he didn't try and enslave it. We enter the cave with them. And slay the beast. Tehd was unable to get a hold on the satyr, but to put it in his words, you never know until you try. In Azsuna we find them in several places. This is the most demon invaded zone, I guess. In the Lothian Highlands, Tehd actually managed to enslave a demon of immense magnitude. He is on the verge of running out of strength as we approach, however, and asks us if we can help him down the monster. Of course we comply, but as we kill it, Tehd says, "Marius, you prideful glutton, you almost got me killed." It does leave you wondering what Marius' role in the summoning was. Up on the ruth'eran divide, we come across a trail of slain Felguards. At the top of a building, we find the duo, and I'd love to know what happened here, as Tehd tells us, "Look, this one is not my fault. How was I supposed to know those demons would believe me?" Before we have the chance to ask what happened, a storm of Felbats comes raining from the sky, and after we've taken care of them, Marius and Tehd are unfortunately no longer open to conversation. At the Olivian Vale, there so happens to be a prime location for summoning massive demons. We find the two, and Tehd asks us to keep an eye on Marius, and that we would make sure Marius doesn't kill whatever Tehd will summon. We comply, but as soon as the warlock finishes his ritual, he realizes the Felguard he summoned is way too big to control, and we are called upon to kill the demon. A greater enfeeblement by Tehd reduces the Felguard's power, and we calmly put an end to it. Our final meeting in Azsuna is at the Fellblaze Ingress, and if you wondered why the two are hanging out there, Tehd has a nice answer ready. He says, "Now I know you may be asking yourself why a demon hunter and a warlock are so far out here away from the action, but while you're asking yourself that, also ask yourself to be quiet and mind your own business." The two then have a set of quests for us, but we start off scouting the Ingress with an eye of Killrock summoned by Tehd. While doing so, he whispers us the occasional comment, and he doesn't seem too impressed by the Legion's work here, and I quote, "Why? Why would demons, of all things, be this bad at summoning their own kind? The badly organized rituals and portal leave them rather vulnerable, and the warlock gives us some fixed portal stabilizer crystals so that hilarity may ensue." Marius asks us, in a way more serious manner than his companion, if we would slay a bunch of demons and their leader, Archathrax. We go on and complete these tasks, and while fighting Archathrax, the duo even pops by to help us out. With that, they go on their merry way to continue their patrol. Tehd does say, before leaving, "I expected more out of these demons. Maybe we can find a pit lord. I always wanted to shackle the essence of a pit lord." There is one more thing to find in Azsuna that relates to our beloved team, and it's one of Tehd's demons, a lowly imp he once bound to himself. We find the little guy by the name of Daglop near the Olivian Vale we previously visited. Tehd had asked us to tell his imp to come over, but upon meeting the demon we find out he's still bound to his previous master as well. In a short questline we sign a contract to rid him of his former master. It's a pretty witty contract, and I'd recommend reading it yourself. But after we've killed his old master, he just returns to Tehd, and that's it. Then we arrive at our last encounter with Tehd and Marius, Highmountain. At the Felbane camp, Marius is working together with his fellow demon hunters, and it turns out they have a pit lord. Marius is determined to destroy it, and Tehd is probably way excited to try and capture it, as he stated in Azsuna. Unfortunately, the two don't say a thing while we fight the Pit Lord together. Upon handing in the quest, Marius thanks us, being all serious and whatnot, but Tehd doesn't say a thing. A shame. We are, however, rewarded with the achievement, so that's something. That's all for Tehd and Marius on the Broken Isles. Tehd does not have any known family or other companions, but you may recognize Marius' name. Although he also lacks known family, we did get to see him before he arrived on the Broken Isles. In a Demon Hunter starting questline on Mardoom, Marius is present, but he doesn't have a major role there. This is some footage from my Iron Man where you can briefly see him. That was all for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. I would suggest meeting with the two yourself, as I quoted far from all the ingenious dialogue. For now, have a great day, and goodbye.